Today we're taking a look at the NCAA tournament final, Gonzaga vs. Baylor match, which is happening on Monday, April 5, 2021 at 9:20 p.m., and giving you my betting tips and predictions in general on this game. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Gonzaga and Baylor have been widely regarded as the top two college basketball teams this season. It seems fitting that the Bulldogs and Bears will battle it out for the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship on Monday night. Number 1 seed Baylor dominated number 2 seed Houston, winning 78-59 to reach its first national championship game since 1948. Jared Butler led the Bears with 17 points on 6 of 9 shooting. Davion Mitchell made a huge impact as a playmaker, scoring 12 points and dishing out 11 assists. Butler and Mitchell combined to make 7 three-pointers. They helped Baylor shoot 53% from the field and 46% from beyond the arc. The Bulldogs were able to advance in their semifinal matchup versus the UCLA Bruins thanks to a last-second three-pointer in overtime from Jalen Suggs, who ended the contest with 16 points. And despite all 5 starters posting double digits while the team shot 58%, the Bulldogs were tested constantly by the Bruins as UCLA also converted on just under 60% of their shots as well, along with a solid 47% shooting from the floor. Drew Timme continued his tournament tier leading with 25 points on 11-15 FG, while Joel Ayayi ended with 22 points on an efficient night as well. Despite the win, however, Gonzaga failed to cover for the first time in the tournament. The Bears were able to manhandle a defensive-minded Houston Cougars squad Sunday afternoon, making over 50% of their shots in addition to 11 trays, with leading scorer Jared Butler along with surging performer Davion Mitchell leading the way with 7. Butler posted 17 in the contest while Mitchell finished with a double-double with 12 points and 11 dimes. However, the Bears won this game due to their stellar defense, which gave up 38% to the Cougars while they failed to convert on 13 of 19 three-point attempts, as leading scorer Quentin Grimes missed 8 of 12 shots along with 7 of 8 attempts from long range. Baylor covered for the 4th straight game as 5-point favorites. Number 1 seed Gonzaga faced major resistance before dispatching number 11 seed UCLA 93-90 on Jalen Suggs' buzzer beater in overtime. Suggs' game winner capped a game that featured 15 ties and 19 lead changes. Gonzaga never led by more than 7 points against the Bruins after winning 27 straight games by double-digit margins. The Bulldogs shot 59% from the field while paced by 25 points from Drew Timme and 22 points from Joel Ayayi. This is the 6th all-time meeting between Baylor and Gonzaga. The Zags lead the series 5-0, most recently beating the Bears 83-71 in the second round of the 2019 NCAA tournament. Houston looked like they didn't belong on the same floor as Baylor. The Bears have been locked in like a Terminator, hell-bent on winning a championship. However, there's no John Connor being saved in this story. It's about every opposing team standing in the path of their journey being eviscerated. This is not the same Baylor team that looked shaky in their regular season return. No, the Bears have surged back to midseason form in the lead up to one of the most anticipated matchups in NCAA tournament history. The Zags might have the best defense in college basketball, but the Bears have a backcourt capable of scoring with them on a good night. Their three-point shooting can hit full-on like a hook from heavyweight boxing legend Mike Tyson. Jared Butler, Macho Teague and Davion Mitchell have spent most of the season breaking hearts and positioning themselves for a shot at the throne. And now they have it. Davion Mitchell is the quintessential player who makes his teammates better on both ends of the court. During the NCAA tournament, the junior guard has averaged 13.2 points and 6.0 assists for the Bears. Mitchell posted his second double-double of the season in Baylor's win over Houston. Facing Jalen Suggs, a guard who could be selected number 1 overall in the 2021 NBA draft, will present a major challenge. If any player can rise to that challenge, it is Mitchell. If he's patient and relies on his usual court vision and defensive tenacity, It can help the Bears match Gonzaga shot for shot on offense. Defending well in transition will be a catalyst in turning Baylor's championship hopes into reality. Gonzaga is a team that excels at scoring in transition and cutting to the basket. The Bulldogs outscored UCLA 15-0 in fast break points and outscored the Bruins 56-24 in the paint. A similar disparity on Monday will make it tough for the Bears to slow down the nation's top offense. Baylor can slow Gonzaga down by winning the rebound battle and defending deep into the shot clock, thus denying the Bulldogs extra chances to get out and run and impose their preferred blistering tempo. The Bears will need 77-plus points at least to put the Zags away. This isn't going to be one of those shutdown performances where they're able to get away with the bare minimum on the offensive end of the floor. The Bulldogs get a ton of credit for their offensive dominance, but it was their defense that ultimately sent the game against UCLA into overtime. So Baylor will have to dig deep in this one. Will they be able to dig deep enough to actually challenge the Zags' offense? The answer to that question could decide the game. Baylor has been suffocating on defense throughout this tournament, but they have never faced an offense loaded with so many weapons. UCLA played about as well as they could hope, but the Zags just kept making plays. It's going to take a special performance to put an end to the nightmare. Gonzaga escaped with a resounding 93-90 victory, thanks to a 40-foot bank shot from freshman Jalen Suggs, who thrust himself into NCAA lore with a game winner in one of the greatest college basketball games of all time. Drew Tima finished with 25 points to lead 5 Bulldogs in double figures on the night, while Joel Ayayi added 22 in the win. Suggs produced a strong all-around game, finishing with 16 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds, but came up big when his team needed him most. The freshman came up with a crucial block near the end of regulation before beating the buzzer with his game winner in overtime. Gonzaga will be seeking much different results Monday night versus Baylor. The team boasts 4 legit double-digit scorers led by Julius Erving Award winner Corey Kispert, along with Tima, who are potential threats in the paint, in the mid-range, as well as from deep. In fact, Kispert was the only player in uniform for the Bulldogs when they took out the Bears in 2019, as he went 6-8 FG along with 4-6 from deep for 16 points. On the other hand, Ayayi and Suggs will also be brimming with confidence after their win over the Bruins, finishing the contest a combined 15-24 FG while shooting 50% on 8 3-point attempts. Scrappy play on the boards from guard Andrew Nembhard will also be critical versus a Baylor team that is gathering 34 rebounds per game while allowing just 29 to their opponents. However, Gonzaga will certainly need to raise their level of play on the defensive end, as the Bruins really exposed vulnerabilities in the paint as well as within their perimeter defense, shooting 58% while making 8 of 17 trays. T took a nearly perfect game by UCLA to stay in it, and it still lost. The Bruins were lights out from the field. It's not like they were hitting a ton of open, uncontested shots on the way to a 58% night. There were a few big mistakes, and everything was dropping from 3 against a defense that's great at bothering the outside shooters. UCLA didn't have any answer for 6-10 Drew Tima going all Tim Duncan on the inside, and there's no accounting for Jalen Suggs. Yeah, Suggs will be remembered for that, and for the block and overhanded thread the needle bounce pass to Tima for a score, but he's also been a killer on defense too. All 5 main men can score. Tima has taken his game up a few notches, and the team continues to win even with Corey Kispert being more steady than takeover sensational, if you can call averaging 17 points in the tournament just okay. Gonzaga has no issues getting on the move with Baylor. It'll keep working inside as much as possible, and the defense that continues to not get its due won't get hit for 58% from the field 2 games in a row. So here are my betting suggestions for that game. The Bulldogs were overdue to get pushed. USC had the right defensive style, size, and blend to get it done, but that all went by 2 minutes in. UCLA balled out hard and had its chances to pull it off, but Gonzaga still managed to fight through to move on. Baylor will miss that 1 extra free throw, will give up that 1 extra foul, and will fail to get enough defensive big stops in the interior to let Gonzaga start to pull away just a bit. Don't expect another Gonzaga thriller, but it'll be wildly entertaining. Each team will go on plenty of big runs. The Action Network's pro projection set this number at plus 2.9, resulting in a B- graded 4.5% edge. In fact, the current VIG at many influential sportsbooks suggests the Baylor vs. Gonzaga spread is leaning toward it move to plus 4 as well. The Bears and the Bulldogs meet for it all at Lucas Oil Stadium Monday night as each enter this contest with a healthy amount of momentum after a stellar tournament. Each possess experience and leadership while also having two of the best defenses in the nation. However, with the way in which the Bruins were able to move the ball to keep the Bulldogs on their heels defensively Saturday night will come back to hurt them in the title game versus a team in Baylor that can break teams down with their ability to drive off dribble in transition as well as within the half-court offense to get into the teeth of the D. Furthermore, Baylor has covered as underdogs in 3 straight outings versus the Bulldogs, including in their last matchup in 2019. I see this contest as one that will be a high-scoring affair with Baylor staying competitive thanks to a solid night from their playmakers around the perimeter along with some gutsy performances from their front-court players that have been beneficiaries of drives from Mitchell and Butler. In Saturday's 78-59 victory over Houston, Baylor had a commanding 45-20 lead at the break and cruised from there. Leading the scoring for the Bears was Jared Butler with 17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists and 2 steals. Matthew Meyer chipped in 12 bench points as well. Over on the Gonzaga side, there hasn't been much to complain about all season. The Bulldogs steamrolled their way through the schedule, and the close games were few in number. In the NCAA tournament, Gonzaga took out Norfolk State, Oklahoma, Creighton and USC before a tight overtime victory over UCLA on Saturday. In Saturday's Final Four matchup versus UCLA, Gonzaga had a slim 45-44 lead at the break and eventually had to go to overtime. The Bulldogs posted a 12-9 edge in the extra period to move on to the championship. Leading the way for Gonzaga was Drew Tima with 25 points, 4 rebounds and 2 assists. At this stage of the game, any of the two teams can win. But my first betting advice for that game is to pick Baylor Bears. The Bulldogs are 4-1 ATS in their last 5 overall and 4-1 ATS in their last 6 after an ATS loss. Gonzaga is 4-1 ATS in their last 5 neutral site games and 19-1 ATS in their last 29 Monday games. Meanwhile, the Bears are 4-0 ATS in their last 4 overall and 4-0 ATS in their last 4 after a straight-up win. Baylor is 4-0 ATS in their last 4 neutral site games and 6-2 ATS in their last 8 as an underdog. Baylor Bears getting the job done against the Houston Cougars on Saturday. At halftime, Baylor was up 45-20 and in the second half they didn't take their foot off the gas much as they were able to come away with the blowout victory. Baylor used a balanced attack with 5 different players scoring at least 11 points. Jared Butler was the star of the show, finishing the game with 17 points and he was hot from behind the 3-point line. The defense was good against Houston, and if they want to come away with a victory in this game, it's going to be important that the defense steps up and makes scoring tough. A shootout is probably not what Baylor wants in this one. Gonzaga is 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 NCAA tournament games. Baylor is 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 games overall. Baylor is 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games as an underdog. Gonzaga's defense was an issue in the last game and I don't expect it's going to change in this game. Bulldogs are 2-5 ATS in their last 7 games after scoring more than 90 points in their previous game. Baylor Bears are 4-0 ATS in their last 4 games overall. Bears are 4-0 ATS in their last 4 neutral site games. My second betting advice for that game is to pick over 159. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.